Welcome to InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw. Thousands of Oregon youth are homeless, living on their own without the support of parents or guardians. An estimated 1,540 unaccompanied youth and young adults experienced homelessness in the Marion and Polk Region in 2021, but numbers don't begin to give the full picture, for there isn't much data on homeless youth, crucial to any coordinated plan to end youth homelessness. That is changing. Last September, the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance was one of only 33 communities across the nation to receive housing and urban development funding through its Youth Homelessness Demonstration Plan. In March, the Alliance released its long-awaited plan to end youth homelessness. It is a youth-led plan with a youth action board with 18 members, all of whom have lived experience of homelessness. They quickly renamed themselves Backbone. Who are the young people of Backbone? What are they telling our community it needs to do if it really wants to end youth homelessness? I spoke with 3 members of Backbone, Kloi Spencer, its president, and Rory and Ben in leadership. We begin our series on youth homelessness with Kloi, who shared her own story. What's it like on the ground out there, Kloi?
It is very, it's very scary, especially being a person out on the streets, being young. I was for 3.5 years. And it's very scary, especially specifically for youth, because there's a lot of barriers that older people don't have to experience being houseless. And it really pushes me to continue doing what I'm doing, because I still have friends who are out on the streets. I have people dying who I know every single day living out on the streets. So it gives me a lot of drive to try and end this problem as a whole, because I don't want my children to have to ever experience something like this, or their friends, or my friends' children.
What was it like for you those 3 years? How did it come about?
I was 15 and I had a miscommunication with my mom. Me and my mom got into a fight. I left. I'm running away. And I met a young man out on the streets who was houseless, and we became into a relationship. And then I didn't want to go home because I wanted to stay with him. I ended up becoming addicted to drugs very early on, very, very young. And then I didn't want to go home because now I was addicted to drugs and I was living on the street. I couldn't go home.
You know so many people who are in this situation, and you are articulate. You're telling me about your own experience, which is something that right now a lot of people can relate to and say, yeah, but how do we get out of it? What do we do? What led you to Home Youth and Resources and to eventually become the backbone that you are now for helping others?
I started coming here to the drop-in when I was about 17, right around the time that I was homeless on my own. I had my own tent, I had my own little camp and my own setup. I started coming here, and Haley, the youth navigator here at Home Youth Services, said that there was a need for youth voices, and started talking about a youth action board, and I was like, count me in, I'm down, let's go. I went to the first meeting. Second meeting, I became president, and this was June of last year, and I was in and out of a really tough housing situation. I was living at my ex-boyfriend's house, but me and him weren't in a very good relationship. I ended up having to call Haley and have her pick me up and take me to Taylor's house, the shelter. And then I was still going to the backbone meetings, and I think this is when we had our leadership starting, and I ended up moving back home with my mom, and I made almost every single backbone meeting from 3 hours away.
You have to take board meeting minutes. You have to run it like an adult board. You are paid members of this. This is a serious board, not just an advisory one, but an actual part of the Community Action Agency's Homelessness Alliance.
It is scary, but like really exciting and empowering all at the same time.
This whole Addressing Youth Homelessness initiative is youth-led. Yes, you have adult advisors, but you are the ones who are collectively setting and solving the problem together.
We have multiple different like subcommittees, all that are part of the Homeless Alliance. Many of those have changed the way that their voting system, I guess, works. That now includes youth voice. Or my age, now being on the director's board, my vote would count as much as, say, possibly the mayor.
And you've been talking to the mayor. You've been talking to all kinds of people lately, haven't you?
I love talking to people, because I mean, how else are people going to find out about it? Word to mouth, spread the word, and the more people that we have, like, aware and on board with what we're doing in the community and the entire CCP, then like the more positive feedback that we'll have, and just positivity breeds. And if we have everyone engaged, then it'll be like great.
Tell me what people don't know about what it is for young people to be homeless. They have all kinds of ideas. What are you telling them about what they need to know and what it is and what it isn't?
I think a lot of people miscommunicate that homelessness is just middle-aged people addicted to drugs on the street, because it's not. There's families. There's people who have never touched drugs a day in their life. There's young kids who are like 11. There's literally so many people who experience homelessness on a day-to-day basis that isn't just like your stereotypical normal, like what is portrayed in the media. And I think one thing that people don't understand about being specifically a homeless youth is how hard it is, because you can't go certain places because you're too young, or people don't want to let you stay with them because you're a liability, because you're under the age of 18. Or being a female and having to choose between getting groomed and having somewhere to sleep at night. It's the really tough realities that you do have to face, especially being young, and being a female is really, it's a scary place.
And you talk about trying to get a home, just even for the night. There's a trade-off for that. Oftentimes something is expected of you. That's really hard.
Yep. Especially just like, I recently turned 18, so I haven't been like houseless over the age of 18. So all of that was happening to me when I was really young. And it makes me very upset, man, because like if it's not me, it's someone else. And it's going to continue being like that. And it sucks, but it's the truth, and I just want to help so that other people don't have to experience that, because that's not something that you should have to ever choose over, like your body or like safety.
And what about health? What about being able to even get care when you need it? If you have a health emergency.
I had multiple times where I literally needed to call 911. I needed an ambulance, but I didn't have a phone. I couldn't walk anywhere to go get a phone with service. So I just sat. You did nothing? You couldn't do anything and you needed help? I had to wait it out. I used to have really bad teeth infections because I couldn't I didn't have my birth certificate, and I didn't know my social security number, so I couldn't go get work done on my teeth. So I would have abscess teeth infections, and I'd just be sitting there in agonizing pain. I don't have a phone to call 911. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't know where I am. So I had to sit and wait it out.
If you had your way, what would have happened to you if all the services, all the support in place? Give me your dream scenario of what could have happened to you that you'd like to see happen in the future, that you would work toward and encourage people to work toward, working to end youth homelessness and to get them the help they need right now.
I think what we need most of for youth is like long-term supportive housing.
How would that look?
A specific like apartment place, but like they'll help you pay your rent, or they'll help you pay your utilities if you pay your rent, or something like that.
All right. So what I understand is there are some places that are especially being made for people, adults, who get the support they need in-house, right? In that living situation. They get a chance. It's the next.
For a few of them before, but some of them, they have like criteria that you have to meet, or like you have to be disabled. You have to have a physical disability or a mental disability, or you have to meet A, B, C, D, E.
Kids don't have that. In fact, do kids have advocates, people out there in the community like you who they can go to they could at least make a start to have their needs taken care of? I can't imagine. Is there anything?
There's the drop-in, and there's like the youth navigators here, me. I mean, all of the backbone members, I'd all consider ourselves advocates, and that's what we got.
So you've made a huge start toward ending youth homelessness, houselessness, you call it. You've made a big start by just getting the information you need in order to be able to know just the size, the scope, and everything. And then you're working together with the larger houselessness community to figure out what to do for that particular group of people, all those young people who are under 18 and in dire need of help. That's pretty amazing.
We work with youth and young adults, so it's under 18 and then from 18 to up to 24, 25.
Oh, so that it takes you up that far. Well, that's really interesting.
Youth and young adults, because the transitional period from a youth to an adult, experiencing that while also being houseless is tremendously difficult.
Where is the system failing the kids who are out there houseless?
When it comes to systems failing, I definitely say that the foster care system. My mom personally was failed by the foster care system, and was in and out of foster care, became a teen parent, and then it got a lot worse. And there's a lot of kids who are aging out, and then their foster parents want nothing to do with them anymore, so they don't have anywhere to go. Our judicial system, kids getting out of juvie or institutions, they get them out on early release because of COVID or something, and then they have nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go?
Their PO has too much paperwork, so as long as you call and make the call and say that, oh yeah, you're at this place or this place, your PO doesn't really care. Like, I have friends who are on the streets because they're lying to their PO because they don't want to go back to jail. Because
So
you can't tell your you can't tell your PO that you're houseless, or he'll just send you back to jail.
So this whole system, how would you think the best way forward for government and agencies to view the youth houseless situation? And it is a crisis because it's not being handled well, and you're part of the solutions going forward. You have a vision for what is the overall attitude that people should have toward youth homelessness. You have a vision.
My vision is that I want to change the world. I really do. One day I want to change. One day I want to change the world. But I think everyone's view on youth houselessness shouldn't be that it's. I see a lot of people saying that they care about the cause and that they want to help, but they don't know how. It is everyone's issue. A lot of people think, oh, it's someone else's issue. Oh, it's going to get dealt with. Oh, it's not my problem. No, it's all of our problems. All of us throughout history have gotten to the point where we're here. So it's all of our issues. So it's going to take a lot of people and a lot of hard work to try and really combat the issue. So I think everyone should just own up and do what they can.
That we're all in this together. It's not it's not like someone else's problems.
Oh, it's a song.
What song?
It's from High School Musical. We're all in this together. Because we are, man. And we can end the issue if we all just like work hard enough.
All right. And I understand that one of the things you ask of people, do you have backbone? What do you mean by that?
Backbone is called backbone because you have to grow a really strong backbone to just survive being houseless. And we're like the center system of this hopefully ending issue. And if everyone can just like grow a backbone and put the work in and like join us in this mission, then it'll work. We can do it, guys. Just put your backbone in it.
Thank you for joining us today on InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.